So that is what the Blockchain and Crypto Assets Council is actually feeling about this. But what is, say, different other stakeholders, what are they thinking on this front? We've got for you a beautifully broken panel coming from different sections and different sects within the crypto community to give us a bouquet of opinions on which way this is going. I'm very delighted to have with us Dr. Aruna Sharma. She's a former member of RBI Digitization Committee. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to you. We meet again.
Hello.
And while we talk about budget in 2022, Gaurav is with us. He's the founder and CEO of BitBNS, also has been a regular here on CC. He will give us his insights into how exchanges, industry are looking at it. I'm sure he's also got a huge list of things he wants the finance minister to know about. Also with us is Sachit Jolly, his partner at DMT Associates. So Sachit is the legal expert on the program and he'll give us an insight into when it comes to taxation, which way is this really going. Also with us is Varun. And he's the digital content creator and founder and CEO of Scenes at Avalon. Varun has a very tech approach to things and we'll try and understand from him what are his expectations from the budget as well. Let me give the first word to Dr. Aruna Sharma. Ma'am, we've been looking at several questions that are still unanswered when it comes to crypto, and with the hope that when the budget comes out, we are still perhaps a little way far away from the regulation coming in, no clarity if this is actually ready, especially in light of what the IMF said just this morning. Just this morning, they came out to say that crypto can't be treated as fringe anymore and there needs to be a global regulation when it comes to crypto. Something exactly what was the reason why the entire regulation was put on hold by the Prime Minister. And he said that, okay, let's take a look at global cues and then we will formulate a policy for India. Just going by that, it seems like that a regulation is still some way to go. When it comes to the budget, what do you expect the finance minister to say?
I will take your question in two parts. One part is use this time as to what is expected in budget as a resolution to the immediate issues, which has been very rightly said is the taxation issue, the GST issue and the FEMA issue. Because crypto is not banned and Supreme Court has made it very, very clear. And in the last session of the Parliament, even though RBI had the reservations, and so it has been made categorically clear that the digital currency will be separate and crypto will be in a separate jacket altogether.
Right.
And
separate bills, separate regulations, separate authorities
looking after them as well. That will be my suggestion to absolutely disaggregate the two.
Yes.
But then crypto has to answer the apprehensions of the RBI, where they are thinking of the fiscal and macro concerns and they cannot wait for the global, because on that will depend on how we define crypto as an asset. That has to be decided immediately in this budget. Then based on that will be the taxation and the GST. And here I will say very, very clearly, we should not repeat a mistake what was done in telecom for the AGR, the adjusted gross revenue, right? So here if you start taxing the entire turnover for taxation purpose, then we are heading for the same problem what we had in the telecom. So it took how many years? It took 4 years to redefine the AGR. So I think the crypto stakeholders should take this homework and define what do they mean by income and offer it to the finance minister as a reference point, which they are doing at different forums. Then this FEMA issue has been very rightly said, because the trading is happening P2P and then it is going in foreign exchanges. That is creating a problem. But having said that, use this time to ensure that the informal SRO that has been created by the stakeholders of the crypto to start listing people. There is a mention that there has been a high increase in the rate of the crime, the cyber security issues.
I have a quote for you there. In fact, crypto crimes, in fact, have increased by 312% per annum on an average since 2016. That's a huge number. That is something which has been a major worry for the government.
Correct. So this 312 is to be addressed by listing in the people, those who deal with the crypto. These were fly-by-night operators. If you analyze or disaggregate this data, that is very, very important. So therefore it is very important to start listing and registering them informally, have a common pattern of KYC, have a understanding of the advertisement norms. And what is equally important, what is coming out in this is the tax issue which has come to one of the exchanges was that instead of keeping data in the blockchain, they kept some of the data in data files. Now this is not correct at all. So apprehensions of RBI will have to be addressed before we expect any mention in the budget on the issues that we have been talking of on the crypto. So this kind of a self-correction, self-regulation, self-mandate will have to be built up by the crypto people. Otherwise it is not going to work at all when we are going ahead in these norms. So all these fly-by-night operators will have to work upon it. Then the concern of the AML, anti-money laundering, which is coming. So what can be done was that it can be routed through NSE, BSEP proper with KYC, AML and norms and everything. So if on their own they start this business, because they still have nearly a month, January with them, and if this is visible, then I expect in the budget sessions, there will be a clarity on the issue of the defining what they mean by crypto and classifying them as an asset, and therefore what are the rules of taxation and GST apply to them. So that
very, very important points, ma'am. Everything that you've mentioned holds a lot of ground, and all these need to be understood. And I like the suggestion on how this should actually go as a suggestion from the industry to the finance minister, and then let's see which way they are going on this one. So all very solid points there. I want to go to Sachit next. Sachit, when we were doing this program, we've been flooded with questions on the taxation front alone. And at the moment, there's so much ambiguity over which way does one go. I just want to read out a couple of questions that viewers actually wrote to us. One says about, of course, understanding and defining income altogether. Then there is one on, should it be treated as business income or capital gains? There is another one on, under which head does crypto income need to be declared while filing the ITR? That's your income tax returns. There is another one which says, what happens if an individual makes gain through crypto to crypto and does not convert it into INR? So these are everyday problems which law-abiding citizens want to solve. They're saying we're happy to pay taxes, let us have some clarity. At the moment, out of all these questions that I've stated, is there clarity on any of them? Sachit? Sachit, can you hear me? All right, we seem to be getting some problem there. Let me go back to Sachit in a moment. Gaurav, to you then. You have any clarity, something that we don't know about?
Right, so what we've seen is people who trade on the platform already file their taxes. We've kind of given them educational material as to, based on their activity, if it's an investment, mining, or anything else, they can accordingly file taxes, whether it's for a short term, whether it's for long term, and declare it properly. Even for companies now, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has given an option where you can declare crypto assets on your balance sheet. So if you are holding crypto assets, you can declare that, and basically that would be sort of treated as your income accordingly. So some of these things are out there. It is just not sort of formalized. It is not just sort of pronounced. And I think like that sort of confirmation that would come from the finance minister is critical in terms of ironing out a lot of these apprehensions that a lot of people have. That am I doing it wrong? Am I filing it wrong? Or what should I do if I...
And apprehensions that people like you have are only on GST. You want to understand from the finance minister what's going on. Tell us what to do. All these not so very good news that we've heard from various exchanges in India in the past couple of weeks speaks volume of this problem.
Right. So I think like there are different ways in which different exchanges were sort of doing GST. I think now with BSEC we've kind of got together. And as Aruna ma'am pointed out, it is going to be the self-initiative of the industry to kind of clarify some of these things and approach the regulator saying, hey, these are the things that we are already doing. Are you okay with it, or do you have any suggestions? And that's how the industry would sort of move forward. And we're trying to work on some of these things. Have worked with some of the big four sort of tax auditing firms that are out there, and trying to create a framework there, and approaching the regulator from there.
I see. Let me go to Varun next. Varun, put on your hat as a digital content creator right now. We've had lots of regulations, or perhaps the lack of it, on advertising. We've just seen very soft messaging coming in from sometimes different portals. We saw what happened with IPL, no direct messaging there. But when it comes to advertising and content creation under different legs, just information, etc., what is your hope from this session?
Yeah, so here's my personal belief, right? Because I've been a long time crypto user. It's just, crypto is brand new technology, right? And it's like you taking Play-Doh, right? And the government is saying, I want to see patterns, right? I want to see this become a dog. I want to see this become a snake. And when it becomes a dog, you're like, this Play-Doh has been made a dog. The problem is crypto is Play-Doh. You can make anything with it, right? And if I had to run you through how much magical stuff is happening online, every day there's somebody new that builds something brand new in crypto. For example, they now buy me a coffee on crypto, right? You can basically, and there's gifting websites where you can like gift somebody crypto, right? So the government is essentially looking to put everything new that happens in crypto into an old bucket, right? It's like when the machine age happened, you're still using steam engine rules, right? So I feel because of that, they are also in like completely, like they're no man's land. And you can make mistakes, right? If you come up with regulation that makes it seem like...
You're saying government is only catching up and perhaps not doing a very good job at it. So what's your suggestion here?
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem of catch up. It's something brand new, right? And my only suggestion is whoever's making the rules, right? And I'm not talking about, it's probably not one person, it's a committee, right? Go use crypto to its fullest, right? Not just on an exchange, buying and selling, right? Because for most people, the purview, like out of the 20-30 million people in India who are using crypto, the purview is like, I'm buying this, it's going to go up 10%, it's going to go down 10%, and that's it. That's the limit of where they can see crypto go, right? But there's so much you can do with crypto.
Of course,
so whoever's making the
absolutely
regulations,
agree with you there. Yeah.
Right? Go check it out, because you can't really delineate and say this came from crypto business activity, this came from crypto investment, because in crypto, because the financial instrument is also an instrument, it's programmatic. It's programmatic money. Right, so you can't like exclude the programmatic side of things, right? So I feel like it just requires...
an all-inclusive, perhaps a more sort of experience-based knowledge is also required, is what Varun is saying. Sachit, I believe we have you back, do we? Okay, I think you're on mute though, because I couldn't hear that. I could just see you. Okay, quick last comments. I have last few minutes on the program on your expectations. Like I said, if Nirmala Sitharaman is listening to you right now, what's your pitch?
Well, my pitch is define what is crypto. Is it an asset? And define it for each category. Define it for a trader, define it for an investor, define it for a miner, and define it for an exchange. Once you give definitions for all these categories, then the taxation follows. In fact, if you go to the UK tax department, the HMRC's website, they give in categorical terms that if you are buying crypto, or if you are selling crypto, or if you are mining crypto, what are your tax consequences? They put it up on the website. The US, although it does not recognize crypto as a legal tender, defines it as an asset. And therefore, all natural tax consequences follow. It will be treated as capital gains in US. If you sell in UK, you will be taxed as capital gains. But if you are a miner of cryptocurrency, then UK taxes that as other income. So the formulas are given on the website. Any person, layman can go and see. So to your question, how do I declare it in my return of income? All those are answered in US and UK on their website. I believe the only way we can do it is if we define what is the nature of crypto. And for each different class, like I said, an investor will have a different consequence. A trader will have a different consequence.
Of course.
The exchange will have a different
I'm running out of time, sadly. But Sachit, if we, in absence of a regulation right now, Do you think the budget in its capacity has the power to actually lay down these things for us?
Absolutely. See, the question whether it's a legal tender or not is a larger question which can be decided at the policy level. And apart from El Salvador, I don't think any other country follows or allows this as a legal tender. But all jurisdictions today, most of the jurisdictions, I would say, recognize that it's a digital mode of payment.
Yes.
So if it is a digital mode of payment, like your question on whether it is an exchange, then what happens? So if you classify this as an asset and then there is an exchange, the Income Tax Act will take care of it, because an exchange is also treated as a transfer and capital gains would follow.
I see.
So I think if you, the point is for tax purposes, you will have to give it a classification.
Right.
Once you classify, everything else will follow. In fact, even the reporting will be clear, because there is a withholding tax provision on every transaction of crypto. And that is casted on the crypto exchange. But if you do not define it, somebody will come out of the tax net saying that this is actually a currency and this doesn't fall within the category of that withholding tax provision, and I'm out of it.
If you want proper declaration, define it. And I think the takeaway also from what Sachit is saying, that you don't while we all wait for that regulation to actually come in and a comprehensive paper on that to actually come in. The budget has the capability of at least defining those little nuances, making it easier for the community to actually function in India. I'm afraid that's all the time we have on the program right now. Thank you all for joining us.